LeBron James is not clutch, right? That's another thing that people bring up all the time.
In the 2011 NBA Finals, LeBron played the worst basketball of his career, and his legacy took a severe hit. James made just 7 fourth-quarter shots across 6 games for a total of 18 points, shooting an inefficient 33% from the field, which gave birth to a plethora of insulting memes. And thanks to the loud mouth of Skip Bayless, the widespread narrative was created that LeBron wasn't clutch, and that he doesn't have the killer instinct of Jordan and Kobe.
With the game on the line, it's a whole bunch of players that I would take ahead of LeBron James.
In 2018, a Brazilian reporter called LeBron a clutch player for his entire career, after which a surprised LeBron smiled and thanked him.
Appreciate you saying I've been clutch my whole career. There's not many like you, I tell you.
In this video, we'll go over LeBron's clutch stats, remind you of his most famous game winners, and try to answer the question, did LeBron become one of the most clutch players of all time, or have the ghost of 2011 and 6 losses in the NBA Finals tarnished that legacy forever? But to start things off, let's determine what clutch is in the first place. The NBA defines clutch time as the final 5 minutes of the fourth quarter or overtime, when the score is within 5 points. In the last 2 seasons, the NBA officially started honoring clutch play, with De'Aaron Fox and Steph Curry winning the first 2 Clutch Player of the Year awards. Thankfully, the NBA started collecting data about clutch plays since the 1997 NBA season, so we can support LeBron's clutch moments with numbers. As a rookie, LeBron was already one of the most clutch players in the league, making 34 shots in the clutch across 79 games, which ranked 12th in the NBA. In the 2004-2005 season, LeBron ranked 25th in clutch points, including a game-tying three-pointer in the season opener against Indiana. And this game-tying buzzer beater versus the Bulls.
And it's James, and this is for the tie. Good! Right between the eyes.
In 2006, Paul Pierce was the league leader in clutch points with 214, and LeBron was second with 179 points in the final 5 minutes of close games. But while Pierce shot 43% in the clutch, LeBron had an unbelievable 53.6 efficiency on clutch plays, which was the 4th best mark in the league among players with at least 50 points scored in the clutch. That year, LeBron made his first game winner against Charlotte, but he saved the best for the playoffs. In the first-round matchup against the Wizards, King James scored his first playoff game winner in Game 3.
Goes left, bends in, over Ruffin. He got it to go! Timeout Washington. 5.7 to go. LeBron James hit the big shot.
And then he made another one in Game 5.
LeBron to the hoop for the win. He got it with 9/10 left. The Cavaliers have won it.
For the playoffs, the King led the NBA in clutch points, shooting 50% on such plays. And if the league gave out its Clutch Player of the Year award back in 2006, LeBron would have probably been the winner based on his volume and efficiency. In 2007, LeBron was 3rd in total points in the clutch behind Kobe and Vince Carter, making 45% of his shots. James was also 6th in the NBA in clutch assists and 1st in steals. But in the playoffs, LeBron was far ahead of the rest of the NBA, with 58 points in the clutch, more than double the second-place Manu Ginobili, who had 28. James also led all players in the playoffs in clutch assists and steals. And in terms of efficiency, LeBron shot 53% on clutch shots, again, ranking near the top of the league. And while his 2 game winners versus the Wizards were awesome, what LeBron did against the Pistons in 2007 was legendary. Even though the 1-seeded Pistons were the favorite and took a 2-0 series lead, the Cavs bounced back and tied the series after 4 games. And then, in Game 5, we saw one of the best games in NBA history. LeBron scored 48 points, including 25 straight, and 29 of the Cavs' last 30 points in the fourth quarter and 2 overtimes.
As the fourth quarter started running down, it got to a point where I said, we've come this far. There's no looking back now. As a leader, I can't allow my team to fail.
With 2.2 seconds left in the second OT, James scored a driving layup to give the Cavs the victory on the road.
James scores with 2.2 to go.
That dude he climbed that mountain that night.
In Game 6, Cleveland closed out the series to advance to their first NBA Finals in franchise history.
And if we can get it down to the fourth quarter, I always told my team I'm going to try to do my best to try to bring it home.
And even though the Cavs got swept by the much more experienced Spurs team, it was hardly LeBron's fault. who basically dragged a group of bystanders to the NBA Finals in what was easily the weakest team ever to reach the championship round. In 2008, LeBron led the NBA in clutch points with 251 on 48% shooting, miles ahead of Kobe, who scored 147 points in the clutch.
James puts it up, puts it in. Cavs by 3 with 20 seconds remaining.
James was also the first in the league in clutch steals and assists, and fourth in blocks. In January of 2008, LeBron scored a game winner against Portland, the fifth game winner of his career.
Here's the drive, and he lays it in with 0.3 of a second.
In the playoffs, the King was sixth in total points in the clutch, but in terms of efficiency, this was one of his weakest years, as he only shot 23% in the clutch. However, that's largely because he played against the best defense in the NBA in the second round versus the Celtics, in a legendary matchup with Paul Pierce. LeBron finished with 35 points in Game 5, 32 in Game 6, and then 45 in Game 7, where he scored almost half of all of Cleveland's points.
Here he goes, and James makes it a one-point game. They're playing a game. Anything you can do, I can do better.
But it wasn't enough, because Pierce had 41 of his own to push the Celtics to the conference finals. In 2009, LeBron was 8th in the NBA in clutch points, but with 56% accuracy. He was the most efficient among the 25 best clutch scorers. The Cavs were 23-8 in clutch games, which was the best record in the NBA. Against the Warriors, LeBron made the first buzzer beater of his career to win the game on the road.
LeBron to win the game. He does! He does!
And then, in the playoffs, he added another one. After the Cavs swept the Pistons and the Hawks, they faced the Orlando Magic in the conference finals and were 1 second away from falling 0-2 in the series when this happened.
LeBron for 3 for the win. Yes! LeBron James at the buzzer!
However, despite LeBron averaging 38, 8, and 8 in the series, the Magic were too good, and the Cavs lost the series in 6. In 2010, LeBron led the NBA in clutch points for a second time, hitting 49% of his shots and winning 33 out of 45 clutch games, which was once again the best mark in the NBA. In the playoffs, LeBron shot 57% from the field and 54% from 3 in the first round against the Bulls.
The end of the quarter, James. Oh, yeah!
But in the second round, the Celtics were too strong again. And even though the visual didn't look too great and LeBron didn't have a super strong performance, he still made 60% of clutch shots in the playoffs. After the season, it was clear that LeBron had taken the Cavs as far as they could go, and that if he wanted to win a championship, he needed to go elsewhere, as the Cavs struggled to surround him with all-star teammates.
LeBron James' season is over. Is his career in Cleveland over?
In his first 7-year stint in Cleveland, LeBron shot 46.7% in the clutch, which was near the top of the league, and just a fraction below his overall shooting percentage of 47.5%. If there was a Clutch Player of the Year award back then, James should have won it 3 times, in 2006, 2008, and 2010. However, despite his game winners, some of the best clutch stats in the league, winning 2 MVPs, and being statistically the most impactful player in the NBA, it was around then that Skip Bayless first started hating on LeBron.
And for the 1,000th time, I'm going to say it again, LeBron James, as great as he is, as gifted as he is, was not born with a clutch gene.
Unfortunately for James, Skip's gloomy predictions turned out to be correct for the 2011 season, his first with the Miami Heat. In the regular season, LeBron was 6th in the NBA in clutch points on 43% shooting, but Miami won just 22 out of 41 close games, as the players and the coach were still trying to find their footing. In the playoffs, Miami defeated the Sixers and then the Celtics, as LeBron finally got the better of his nemesis, Paul Pierce.
James over Pierce.
In the conference finals, LeBron was magnificent against the MVP Derrick Rose, masterfully guarding him in the deciding moments of the fourth quarter and limiting Rose to just 35% shooting in the series.
The Miami Heat have come from behind to defeat the Chicago.
But then came the finals, and the most disappointing series of LeBron's career. James completely lost faith in his jump shot, and because Dallas played phenomenal team defense on him, guarding him with 2 or 3 players, his driving lanes were closed, so his offense plummeted. The Heat lost the series in 6, and it was largely LeBron's fault. Even though the 2011 Mavs team is underrated, LeBron should have launched those jumpers in the fourth quarter even if they missed. He actually shot 48% in the series, which is far from terrible, but it was his passive play that killed the Heat. After the finals, LeBron fell into a deep depression and wouldn't leave the house for 2 weeks.
Probably one of the hardest times of my life. After the finals, I sat in my room for 2 weeks, did absolutely nothing, talked to absolutely nobody.
While Skip Bayless somehow looked smarter than every other analyst on TV.
Games 4, 5, and 6 against the Dallas Mavericks disappeared, ran from the basketball. LeBron melted down the way we've never seen a superstar melt down in the history of sports.
And then LeBron went to work. He went to Hakeem Olajuwon's camp to improve his post game. He gained more muscle and started playing more in the post, which was the biggest weakness of his early career. And when the 2012 season began, the results were obvious. James played the best and most efficient basketball of his career, resulting in his third regular season MVP. However, after dominating the Knicks and the Pacers, the Heat fell 3-2 to the Celtics in the conference finals, and it seemed like the haters would add another layer of saltiness at LeBron's expense. But then, with his back against the wall and his career legacy on the line, the King delivered one of the most cold-blooded and dominant performances in NBA history. 45 points, 15 rebounds, and 5 assists, shooting an unreal 19 for 26 from the field against 4 Hall of Famers. Whenever the Celtics got close, LeBron made another shot, being as clutch gets.
Well, I just go out and just do what I've been taught, and that's to play at a high level and have fun with it. I won't regret anything. If I know I played hard and I gave it my all, I won't regret anything, no matter the outcome. That's where I've been this whole season.
In Game 7, LeBron finished off the Celtics with a triple-double of 31 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists, making his third finals appearance. And against OKC in the finals, LeBron faced a formidable opponent, again playing against multiple Hall of Famers. But this version of LeBron wouldn't be denied, and he finally climbed the NBA mountaintop, winning the ring and the finals MVP, leading all players in clutch points in the playoffs. After the season, LeBron joined Team USA at the 2012 London Olympics, where he once again proved his clutch factor. Whenever the Americans needed a score in close games, it was LeBron who had the ball, made the right play, and was clearly the best player on the team. In 2013, the Miami Heat won 27 games in a row, the second largest unbeaten streak in NBA history, and LeBron kept that streak alive with a game winner against Orlando and another again in Boston over Jeff Green.
Seconds left. James for the tie.
After which he introduced his famous silencer celebration. James was 4th in the NBA in clutch scoring and 1st in assists as Miami won 28 out of 35 close games, which again ranked number 1 in the league. In the playoffs, the Heat easily got past the Bucks and the Bulls, but in the conference finals, the Pacers, led by Paul George, proved to be a much tougher matchup. In Game 1, Indiana had a 1-point lead with 2.2 seconds left on the clock, when LeBron got the ball at the top of the key and drove to the basket to score a buzzer-beating layup to win the game. Eventually, the Heat advanced to the finals after 7 hard-fought games, and James averaged 31 points. However, in the finals, it seemed like all hope was lost after San Antonio had a 3-2 lead in the series, with a 10-point lead coming into the fourth quarter. But then, James played like a man possessed, scoring 16 out of Miami's 30 points in the fourth, including a clutch three-pointer that cut the deficit to 2 with 20 seconds to go. After Kawhi made one of his 2 free throws, the Heat were down by 3, with 1 chance to tie the game, after which one of the most legendary sequences in NBA history happened.
Catches, puts up a 3, won't go, rebound Bosh, back out to Allen, his three-pointer, tie game with 5 seconds remaining.
In the OT, LeBron scored or assisted on all of Heat's field goals, as Miami escaped with a victory. In Game 7, James scored 37 points, including a dagger jump shot over Kawhi that secured the win and the title for Miami. Once again, LeBron led all players in total points in the clutch in the postseason, and his legacy as a clutch player was now looking much different than it did 2 years prior. In 2014, LeBron was 2nd in total points in the clutch behind Kevin Durant, including game winners over Orlando,
4 on the shot clock. He made it.
Golden State,
Make somebody else beat you. 3 on the way. He got it.
and Portland.
6 on the shot clock. Drives in. Lays it in.
In the playoffs, LeBron had the best shooting postseason of his career, shooting over 55% in all 4 series. In the finals against the Spurs, LeBron made 57% of his field goals, 52% from 3, but it wasn't enough. as the Spurs played arguably the most beautiful team basketball in history, deservedly winning the title. For the 2015 season, LeBron decided to come back home to Cleveland, and his first year back with the Cavs will mostly be remembered for clashes with coach David Blatt. In the second round against Chicago, with Kevin Love out for the playoffs and Kyrie Irving playing on one leg, Chicago held a 2-1 series lead. In Game 4, with 1.5 seconds to go, the score was tied, when Blatt drew up a play with James passing the ball in. But LeBron said, F that.
I just told Coach, just give me the ball. We either going to go in overtime or I'm going to win it for us. And I told Coach, there's no way I'm taking the ball unless I could shoot it over the backboard and go in.
And he sank a beautiful buzzer beater over Jimmy Butler to tie the series.
James for the win. It's gone. LeBron James at the buzzer.
After beating the Bulls in 6, the Cavs swept the one-seeded Hawks to advance to the NBA Finals, where they lost Kyrie Irving to injury after Game 1. Still, LeBron was so dominant that he willed the Cavs to 2 wins, but that's all he could do. The Warriors won the Finals in 6 games, despite James's 36, 13, and 9, which led both teams in points, rebounds, and assists. In 2016, LeBron scored another game winner in the regular season, this time a sweet hook shot against Brooklyn.
LeBron James hooks, got it! He did it with 1 second left!
And in the playoffs, the healthy Cavs dominated the East, losing just 2 games on their way to the NBA Finals, where they faced the best team in the history of the NBA. The Warriors won an NBA record 73 games in the regular season, and after 4 games, they held a 3-1 lead in the finals, and it looked like they were easily getting the repeat. But then, both LeBron and Kyrie scored 41 points in Game 5, extending the series. In Game 6, James recorded 41 points, 8 rebounds, and 11 assists to force a Game 7, which proved to be one of the most legendary games in history. In the fourth quarter, with the game tied at 89, LeBron delivered the most clutch block ever. For nearly 3 minutes, neither team could score, and it was still 89-89 when Kyrie made the biggest shot of his career.
One-on-one, Irving puts it up. It's good! Kyrie Irving from downtown!
LeBron then hit a free throw to extend the Cavs' lead to 4, and after Kevin Love's great defense that forced a missed three-pointer by Curry, Cleveland could finally celebrate their first title after 52 years. And even though it was Kyrie's shot that'll be remembered the most, it was LeBron who scored 11 out of Cleveland's 18 points in the fourth quarter. And if it weren't for James, the Cavs wouldn't have even been in position to win, similar to 2013 in Game 6 against the Spurs, where LeBron's 16 points in the fourth brought his team close to victory. In 2017, LeBron had another great shooting season, and the most memorable moment in the regular season happened when the Cavs trailed by 3 against the Wizards with 3.4 seconds to go. What happened next was poetry in motion.
LeBron, and got it! Banks it in!
For the entire playoffs, LeBron was shooting lights out, 56% from the field, including 41% for 3. In the finals, LeBron averaged a triple-double with 33, 12, and 10. But there was no beating the Warriors with Kevin Durant, who were arguably the best team of all time. And then Kyrie Irving left the team, and all the Cavs got in return was an injured Isaiah Thomas and the shadow of Jay Crowder. The Cavs were a mess all year, making a complete overhaul at the trade deadline in a desperate attempt to salvage their season. However, through all the adversity, they still had LeBron, who had the most clutch season of his career.
James steps back, 3 from there, and knocks it down! LeBron James from downtown!
For the 4th time in his career, LeBron led the league in clutch points, hitting 56% of his shots in the last 5 minutes of close games, including this clutch block and buzzer beater against the Timberwolves.
James, catch, fire, ball game! He did it! LeBron James wins it for Cleveland!
In the first round of the playoffs against the Pacers, LeBron finished Game 2 with 46 points on 71% shooting to pull away with a clutch 197 victory and avoid an 0-2 deficit. In Game 5, the score was tied at 95 with less than 10 seconds to go. Oladipo decided to take the final shot. He drove to the basket and was denied by LeBron, who blocked him without fouling, also keeping the ball in bounds. In the final possession, with 3 seconds left on the clock, LeBron got the ball almost at half court, took 2 dribbles, and pulled up a deep 3 over Thaddeus Young.
Seconds left. Cleveland triggers in. James, 2 seconds. 1 second for the win. LeBron James delivers.
3 seconds left on the clock. You're in the huddle with your teammates. What are you telling them?
Let's give me the ball.
Indiana then took a dominant win at home to send the series back to Cleveland for Game 7, where LeBron took out his DIY kit and gave Cleveland fans another playoff masterpiece. 45 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, and 4 steals in a 105-101 victory over the Pacers. For the series, James either scored or assisted on 60% of the Cavaliers' points. In Game 1 of the second round against Toronto, the Raptors never trailed once for 48 minutes, but LeBron's clutch turnaround jumper in the last minute tied the score at 105 and sent the game to overtime, where the Cavs escaped with a victory. In Game 3, the score was tied with 8 seconds to go. LeBron took the ball, dribbled the entire length of the court, and then let fly an extremely tough and contested floater.
Throws up the floater. Good night, Cleveland. That is for you.
LeBron took the Raptors' souls with that game winner. But in the East Finals, the Cavs were overmatched by the Celtics, who took a 2-0 series lead. The Cavs managed to tie the series back home, and LeBron was especially brilliant in Game 4.
James sets, puts up a 3. Bang!
He went off for 46 points on 17 of 28 shooting from the field and was absolutely unstoppable when the Cavs needed him to be, which was often. The Celtics took Game 5, and for the 4th time in his career, LeBron faced a 3-2 deficit against the Celtics. And as you can probably imagine, he responded in a huge way. In Game 6, he led the Cavs to victory with 46 points, 11 rebounds, and 9 assists.
Puts it in! As the shot clock expires, LeBron James with 44. Timeout Boston.
In Game 7 in Boston, he silenced the crowd with a huge 35, 15, and 9 performance, carrying the Cavs to another NBA Finals with averages of 33.6 points, 9 rebounds, and 8.4 assists, and was again responsible for over 50% of the Cavs' offensive output.
James, grab from behind, count it, goaltend and 1. And it's up to 9 with 104 remaining.
In the finals, the same opponent awaited for the 4th straight year, and nobody believed the Cavs had the slightest chance of beating them, except King James, who played arguably the best offensive game of his career in Game 1, with 49 points in regulation. And if it weren't for J.R. Smith, who forgot the score, maybe the Cavs would have won. But instead, the game went to overtime, where the exhausted James mustered only 2 points, as the Warriors defeated the Cavs by 10. The rest of the series was just a formality, and despite a 34-8-10 from LeBron, the Cavs had no answers for the Warriors' juggernaut. Once again, LeBron led all playoff scorers in the clutch, hitting 50% of his shots. And if there was the award for the Clutch Player of the Year, James should have won his 4th in 2018. When he moved to LA to join the Lakers, LeBron had a forgettable 2019 season, and due to James's injury, the Lakers missed the playoffs. But in 2020, the Lakers added Anthony Davis, and LeBron led the league in assists and finished second in MVP voting for the 4th time in his career. In the first round, he averaged a triple-double against Portland on 60% shooting and had a near triple-double against the Rockets and the Nuggets to reach his 10th NBA Finals. And in the finals against the Heat, LeBron once again proved his clutch factor. In Game 4, he scored or assisted on 60% of the Lakers' points in the 4th quarter to give the Lakers a 3-1 series lead. In legendary Game 5, where LeBron and Jimmy Butler exchanged buckets down the stretch, LeBron passed up a potential game-winning shot, and the Lakers ended up losing the game. But in Game 6, he silenced the haters with another brilliant game, finishing with a 28, 14, and 10 triple-double. For the series, LeBron averaged 30, 12, and 8, with an insane 59% shooting and 42% for 3. And even though his last 4 years with the Lakers didn't yield anything more than 1 conference finals appearance, the King still had some memorable clutch shots, like the game-tying 3 against San Antonio.
LeBron for the tie.
The play-in dagger against the Warriors.
Throws it back up top. James puts up the 3. Oh, it's good! LeBron James from downtown!
Or closing out Dylan Brooks on the Grizzlies.
James drives. James is fouled! And 1! LeBron!
In February 2024 against the Clippers, at the age of 39, Bron outscored the whole Clippers team 19-16 in the 4th quarter, once again proving his clutch factor.
James, top of the key. He hits a 3.
This marked the 18th time in his career that James has outscored the entire opposing team in the fourth quarter, while no other active player has done that more than 3 times. In his 6 years as a Laker, the King averaged nearly 8 points per game in the fourth quarter, and with 7.25 points in the fourth quarter for his career, he ranks as the best fourth quarter scorer ever. With 1 minute left in the fourth quarter or OT, and with a shot to tie or take the lead, LeBron ranks 4th all-time in field goal percentage, with 45.2% shooting. Also, LeBron is 7 for 12, 58% in his career on game-tying or winning field goal attempts in the final second of playoff games. Let's put that in context. Kobe, Steph, Durant, Kawhi, Harden, Westbrook, Dirk, Wade, Duncan, Jokic, T-Mac, and Nash are a combined 6 of 50, or 12%.
LeBron James has the most clutch time points ever. He's got over 2,600. The only other player with over 2,000 clutch time points is Kobe. LeBron James, second most game-tying or game-winning shots inside the final minute of the fourth quarter or overtime.
The King also has the most playoff buzzer beaters. He's made the most game-tying or go-ahead field goals in the final minute of a playoff game, and has the highest field goal percentage among players with 25-plus attempts. LeBron James has made 1,010 clutch shots in his career, regular season and playoffs, which is the most in NBA history, and has a career average of 34, 11, and 8 in elimination games. So, after all the stats, game winners, and clutch plays, LeBron has really only played one bad playoff series in his career, which, unfortunately, defined him for years. But other than the 2011 finals, LeBron's really been a clutch player his whole career, and he's arguably the most clutch player of all time. Thanks for watching.